You know
into
what's
the school
interesting
play.
about like high school, like or middle school, like musicals? There's always like the stars, like
Yeah.
the kids that you were like, he's gonna get it. Like he's the
Yeah.
lead
Yeah.
every year.
They
They were
were
like local celebrities.
Yes.
just
And
at your school.
You thought they were going to be famous because you didn't know, but you're like, they're the best at our school of 400.
Exactly.
They're
You
gonna make it.
you literally thought they were gonna like go on to be celebrities.
Exactly. And I really, really thought it because there was a group of girls who got kind of like in-synced together by some random man. Like, and they literally recorded an album and released it. Like they were a girl band. Like and everyone was like, they're gonna be famous.
Yeah. Well, yo, this happened or not even in
Just
high school,
'cause they
in
had to follow
college.
through.
In college, the same thing happened. My friend lived in our house sophomore year, the first half of sophomore year at UC Santa Barbara, and he was like, "Yeah, me and my band are like recording like an album." It was like him and like 4 other like kind of hot guys.
Nice.
And obviously, just nothing happened with it because that's what happens with like all entertainment ever. But we were like, "Yeah, Orion's gonna be famous."
It's just the
We live with
follow
like
through.
it's
just
cool
the
to
follow
like
through to
live with a
finish
guy
it.
before he gets big.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
knowing
yeah.
Harry Styles before he was famous. Like it just is really cool, and he's like humble too.
He's like a good guy.
Humble
Like,
too. Meanwhile, his life is like just completely normal.
So normal.
Welcome to Wolf Family Therapy. The doctors today are Jamie and Tyler, and the appointment will start briefly. Thank you for patiently waiting. The brothers will see you now.
We should introduce our guests before we go off on our back pain. Our guest today is Kate Sisk, amazing comedian, as well as a national soccer team player for what country was it?
For Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you
thanks for coming
doing
to
it.
therapy.
So it's interesting. You grew up obviously playing soccer. We taught this is kind of mostly about growing up and our upbringing, how it affected us today. Did you want to play like did you want to go take it that far when you were a kid? You wanted to play on the national team?
Yeah. I would be out in the rain, like playing with the ball by myself, imagining, I'm scoring the winning goal at the World Cup, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Always have dreams like that in my head to like, as a child, like, because that's childlike imagination, I was like 6 or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's like, Sisk pulls ahead, shoots, scores, yeah. And then that imagination just kind of continued to where I was like, I actually want to play at the highest possible level.
When did you think? Because I'm like, we actually talked about this.
we were just talking
I
about
thought I could go pro when I was like 18, and I was not even close. Like literally miles away from even like playing at a good college school. But when were you like, I think I could do this? Were you?
I played for a really good club team, and pretty much all of my teammates.
But how old were you?
Probably when I was like 13.
Wow.
That's pretty young.
Wow, that
like
is
traveling
young.
the
That's
country,
really
one of those
young.
crazy travel teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, just playing tournaments in like Minnesota. And,
Yeah. And all of my teammates, a lot of them were better than me and more athletic than I was, like taller, faster, etc. And they pretty much all went D1, and I went D3 because I wanted to play at a school that could be a contender for like a national championship.
Okay.
Instead of like going to a school that's like not like top of the Division 1, and maybe I wouldn't even see playing time
Just to say you went Division 1, basically.
Right, exactly. I wanted to like have a really competitive experience.
Where did you go to school then?
I went to Amherst in Western Mass.
Oh, cool.
And we were contenders.
You were contenders?
We went to the Elite 8 one year. That was pretty fun.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What did you play?
Were you about to say goalie?
I forget.
Because I'm gay.
I forgot.
I heard that coming, too.
I forgot what you played. I wasn't going to say goalie. I was going to say good striker. What was your
I
position
played
again?
keeping myself in the midfield. I was
No, but seriously,
midfielder.
what level goalie were you? First string goalie? You're a midfielder. That makes sense. Usually,
You were a midfield goalie?
yeah.
They let you use your hands.
Well, on the girls' boobies, but yeah. I played
Yeah, that makes sense because generally, excuse my phrasing, but generally shorter people play in the midfield.
Yeah.
Like my friend played at UC Santa Barbara, and he's like 5'2" or something, 5'3".
That's me.
Because you're just fast, you're technical. You don't really need to get headers too much. And
yeah, technical and like tactical as well, but not having to actually be faster than other people.
yeah.
You make up for the athletic limitations with skill.
Yes. Yeah. So that's where I found myself.
So that's where you were, what, center mid for 4 years? Did you start all 4 years?
Yeah, there was like some waves of like being beat out for a spot and then finding myself starting again, getting injured, etc. But yeah, pretty much spent 4 years.
But you spent 4 years at Amherst. Was everyone else thinking they're going to play on the national team? I can't imagine those people.
Probably no one.
A lot of those people were that ambitious.
So I think so on the way that I ended up on the Puerto Rican team was that the goalie on the men's team was on the men's Puerto Rican team. So there was definitely like really like high level players, and some people were considering maybe playing club like overseas after school.
Cool. So like playing at like FC Bayern Munich in Germany.
Yeah.
Once they graduated.
Yeah, and I think maybe one of my teammates had a go at that. Our coach had done that. I think she played in Sweden.
Cool.
But yeah, so I guess by that point I thought my career was going to like end with college because I knew I wasn't talented enough to play for like the US national team. And so when I got invited to try out for the Puerto Rico team, I was like so honored by that invitation.
So you didn't even go out for it. They asked you?
They asked me to like come and try out.
Yeah. That's still pretty sick.
Like because the kid on the men's team set me up with that. So they called and they were like, "Do you want to come try out for the team?" And then I went. And because the soccer program is still, I would say, in a stage of development in Puerto Rico, I was good enough to make the team.
What's like the craziest team you played against?
Did you play against the U.S. ever?
Not during my time on the team. Right after my time on the team ended, my teammates played against the U.S.
What was the score? Like how?
It was
lopsided?
Significantly lopsided,
Yeah.
but the U.S. was like just coming off of a World Cup win.
Jesus Christ.
So it was like,
Lord.
so it was like an incredible experience for my friends to
that's so
play
cool.
against the world champions, and
Like Rapinoe, were they playing against Rapinoe?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So like to play
great.
literally at the highest level is like
So cool.
an honor in itself. Yeah.
Do you remember? Like, did you enjoy the time on the national team? What are you?
I did. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I got to go 3 separate times. Once was I played like for the under 20 team while I was still in college. That was really fun.
Oh.
We went to Cuba, which was very cool. And then I played in 2 tournaments on the full national team after school. One was in Trinidad, and one was at home in Puerto Rico, which was really, really special.
Wow.
To get to play at home in front of our own families and fans.
Yeah, that's fun. That's
cool.
really fucking fun.
Yeah. Well, the Trinidad was fun too. My dad surprised me by coming, which is like so. My dad is not a traveling man. But there he was, like, by himself in Trinidad, like, driving on the wrong side of the road. Like, he just kept finding, like, the biggest frogs he could find and taking selfies with them. Like, like he found himself in, like, the nature element, but it was just it was very nice of him to come watch because he really was, like, out of his comfort zone, I think.
How many people are showing up to that game?
Women's sports generally kind of struggles to get as many people there as there should be. But when we got to play at home in Puerto Rico, there was like really good turnout.
Was it the most
nice.
People you'd ever played in front of?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you guys win?
Yes, when we played at home, we qualified for the next stage, which is how my teammates then went to play against like the U.S. and Mexico.
That's fucking sick.
Costa Rica.
Why did you not join?
Because I got cut, baby.
Damn. Oh shit.
Yeah.
That sucks. Were you getting time while you were a member of the team?
Oh yeah, I was a starter. I had some assists.
How do you go from starter to
cool.
cut?
So the coach was from Uruguay, and he cut he cut like 2/3 of the team because he was like he wasn't familiar with like the scene in. So
he was brought in after all these qualifying games?
Well, we played like that tournament, but the team had kind of like already been selected. So he was thinking, oh, there's got to be better stuff out there. And like, we're going up to the next level. I've got to get the cream of the crop. So he cut like 2/3 of the team. And a lot of my teammates just showed up to tryouts and got their spots back.
The next time.
No way.
He was like, fuck.
And he was like, oh.
And you packed your bags like, damn it, I had a chance.
Like I was already back here and
So presumably you could have done that.
I could have if I like flew myself back on my own dime. And also like that was when I was really starting to do stand up. So it felt like kind of this like crossroads in my life where I was like, as devastating as this was, I think it's time for me to like let go of one love and start with the next.
That's cool. And it's also a better love. You can do stand up for a while. You can't really play soccer.
Do you play like rec league in like Central Park now?
Just fucking dunking on fools, rainbowing over everyone.
You just get the ball. You just like cross everyone up.
Begging 40 dudes and just slotting it into the top right.
I was before the pandemic. I feel like I'm like here. I'm torn over whether to play now because I'm like huge now. I've never been this big and playing soccer.
Yeah, you're famous now.
It would be no physically.
Oh, I was like, it would be weird to play against people that knew your stand up or like had seen you on
I'm like
podcasts.
on the field. I'm like, I have 19.3K followers. Like,
it's so awkward.
People just get out of your way like, whoa.
No, like Kate Sisk. Like post pandemic, I'm like 200 pounds. So part of me is tempted to play and just like go into every tackle knowing I'm going to win it. Like, boom,
elbow the
just
fuck
like
out of
be a tuna and just like win every tackle.
Yeah.
And then the other part of me is like, I should probably lose some weight before I blow out a knee. But I was playing rec league before. I almost got a fight with a guy one time. Yeah. My coworkers kept begging me to come play in their indoor league, and I just like
I understand why.
I know, fair enough. It was very kind, but like, and I always had spots, so I couldn't go or whatever. And the time I finally went, like embarrassed a man. And
you megged the fuck out of him.
Yeah, and he was really mad at me after that. And so
why was he mad? Just because you beat him?
It's like pride. I've gotten angry in those scenarios before, but I think the girl versus boy thing probably added another layer of testiness to all the interactions.
I don't think so, Kate. I think it was the exact same as if it was two women.
He was just competitive. That's
I don't think men are more aggressive and scarier than women at all. So what happened? Like, what was the situation?
We were kind of like so after that, then he was like, okay, then I'm going to like be on you like white on rice kind of thing.
He said that to you?
No, it didn't say it to me.
I was like, God.
But like that kind of attitude, like every time I was, his back's right on my, whatever. He's on my back constantly. And our arms got tangled. And I was really like, dude, this is not important. I'm here with people I sit in an office with.
I work with them.
Like, and our arms were like kind of tangled together. And so I like went to pull my arm away and he like really didn't want me to. So his arm kind of flew in the air and like almost hit me in the face. And then had a moment of like kind of like getting like chest to chest with each other.
He did? Oh my God. Was he a short guy?
We were the same height. Yeah. Honestly, it would have been a fair fight potentially. But
yeah, you may have come out on top.
But it didn't escalate beyond that.
That's
a little more anger in those short guys.
It's so funny. You're like in front of your coworkers. You're like, I don't want to show them what I'm capable of. It's like Superman getting into an argument in the office and it almost escalates.
Yeah.
Like with Clark Kent. Like, come on, Clark, fight back.
I can't show them my true power. Yeah, that is true. Like I play in a pickup basketball league in Philly, and there's a girl who played professionally overseas.
Oh,
she played at Syracuse. She was a 1,000-point scorer there.
Damn.
And everyone that's like frequents the run is just like, yeah, she's one of the best players here, one of the most talented. But there's always guys that'll like show up occasionally, and they'll get like crossed up, or she'll do like a spin move on them, and they'll be like, all right, like they'll like hit their like thighs next time down the court, and it's like, bro, like she's a very good player.
Dude,
fucking relax.
Awesome. That's so
Or then they'll
awesome.
try to like show her up like on the offensive end. Yeah.
I feel like the thing that, because I saw this, we played in high school. I was on the soccer team for 1 year, sophomore year, and the JV team scrimmaged the girls varsity team. I think we lost 2-1, and there was one guy. We're all playing soccer, but there was one guy who was actually my friend at the time. But like this girl like pushed him off ball, like she was stronger than him, and pushed him off ball, and then the rest of the game, he like made it his mission to like try and like fuck her up. And the funny thing is, she was much better than him at soccer, so it just didn't work.
Yeah.
I remember like there was one time he tried to like I don't know how to describe. I don't know the name of the move, but try and kick it around her and run around.
Oh yeah.
And she like blocked him out and got the ball, and he was fuck, like so pissed.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I love it too.
I have a question for you. When you guys were playing high school sports, would you ever play drunk or high?
No.
No,
Never.
one time I dipped, but no, I didn't know. One time I showed up on shrooms, and one time I dipped, but I didn't ever
To
play
practice or a
high.
game?
To practice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay,
practice.
okay, yeah,
The practice was so fun. Well, one time I showed
practice
up
on
drunk by
shrooms?
accident. So fun, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was a Saturday practice.
Okay.
So
yeah.
basically on Saturdays, I was on the baseball team, and we would just take ground balls, like do fielding drills, and
Yeah.
then do batting practice on the field.
It's probably like
which
78.
is so chill.
A light breeze.
Yeah, yeah. It was like the best. Yeah, it was so nice.
That's fun.
And like music blasting, we brought a speaker out,
That's fun.
just
I
like
that.
blasted music and practiced. And at the time, baseball was like the only thing I did.
Yeah.
So I was just so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Wait,
sounds
were you
nice.
doing that?
No, to me it was unthinkable, and then in recent years I found out that like many players on the boys soccer team would like play drunk
In high school or at Amherst?
in high school.
Would play drunk?
Yeah.
They would play
Pre-game,
soccer
they'd
drunk?
pre-game the game.
I don't really know the context of why this came to be, but it was just like some of them just like didn't care. And it
Where
was
in
like,
Massachusetts? What kind of school is this?
I went to Lincoln Sudbury, which its nickname is Drinkin' Drugsbury. So,
Oh,
so that's probably part of it. But it was when I heard that, I was baffled. I was like, that I could not imagine.
Well, I remember our
You were like,
soccer
well,
team.
none of these guys are going to make the national team.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
They're just like a townie from Western Mass. Come out drinking with us, Katie.
They're Southern for some reason.
Come on, Katie.
Okay.
Let's go.
Have a fucking Sam Adams before we take the field.
Come on,
the
Katie.
pitch. The pitch.
Take a shot, Katie, before practice with us. They're just getting destroyed. They can't like follow the
Yeah,
stumbling and falling down.
Soccer's not
Were they
a-
bad? They must have been really bad.
I don't know. I don't think it was like everyone. I think it was just probably a few fuck ups, but it was beyond anything I
Yeah.
had thought
The
of.
closest I've come to that, and this memory just came back to me when you said that, is I was a ball boy at the like soccer, basketball, lacrosse games.
Fun.
So basically stand on the side, ball goes out of bounds, you pass it to the ref.
Yeah.
But one time I worked the game drunk. And like I got caught and got fired. And
No.
being kicked off the field mid game.
Being a ball boy?
Yeah, because I was like legitimately hammered. And then they saw me grab something from a fan that I was talking to during the game, take a sip, and then give it back to them. I was not discreet.
In high school, you're like, what? I'm just getting water from my
No,
friend.
this was college, but yeah. It was a water bottle of vodka.
Wait,
but
why would they care if you're drunk in college?
I don't know. Well, he came because a opposing parent, an opposing player's parent, complained, and then my boss came out. He goes, Tyler, were you drinking on the field? And I was like, no, I just played dumb. I was like, no, I wasn't. He was like, don't lie to me. Like, were you drinking?
He
on
can
the field?
smell vodka. Are
Yeah,
you
of course.
sure?
No. So what I did, this was like my, drunk like way around it. I was like, no, but I did have some before I came. And he goes, okay, get off the field right now. Yeah.
Being a ball boy is near and dear to my heart. I was the ball girl for my high school team for years and years and years because my mom was the coach.
As like a kid. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So my brother and I would each take half the field, and we would be the ball boys for the girls' team. So like I had been being the ball girl for like upwards of like 10 years before I finally was in high school and like tried out for the team.
That's cool.
So you came from like a little bit of a soccer family then.
Big soccer family, yeah. My dad was a national champion at Babson. My mom played
Jesus.
at Harvard, and my brother also played at Amherst.
Wow.
Okay.
And he also won a national championship.
At Amherst?
Yeah, which
Oh
I
my
don't like to admit. But
Goodness.
At least you got one. What do they get rings? They get medals?
rings. Yeah, they get
Damn,
rings.
that's
yeah.
fucking sick.
It is fucking sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we would always be on the sidelines being the ball boys. I would try to like strategically help my team, you know, be like hand it slowly to the other team or like roll it on the ground to them. But I would like wipe it off with my shirt and present it
To your team?
to my team.
That was my thing. I was ball boy when I was JV, and like to the varsity team I would be ball boy. And I would to my team I'd like throw it to them, and then they'd get it immediately. And to the other team I'd like drop it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, this. Wait,
fuck.
which ball do you want? This one right here?
Yeah. Like pick it up and then like put it down and like and then throw it. Like, am I gonna kick it or okay?
Yes.
I'll throw it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The game that I worked drunk, I was heckling the other team's players too. It was like pouring rain. It was against Johns
that
Hopkins.
should have been the
Like,
first thing
yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why would she care if you're
Right.
drunk on the field? But if you're yelling at the other team's players, it's
Because
pretty.
you just
It makes
told
it
her
very
son
clear.
he looked like a princess out there.
Yeah, that might have been. But then,
You
like,
fucking pussy! This is you. Why? Why do you think I'm drunk? Jesus. You're the
was
ball
like-
boy, you're handing it. You're fucking suck.
yeah,
You're standing next to him as he does the throw in. You're going to mess up. You're going to mess up. You're
your
going to
mother's
mess
a
up.
whore. Your mother's a whore.
Hey, number 12, I'm wasted and I could kick better than you.
It was like this intense rivalry. It was the stupidest. It was the most like college, just dumb decision.
Yeah.
So basically, I woke up that morning and my baseball teammates were like, "We're gonna have a beer pong tournament." This is like 10 in the morning, and I was like, "That sounds awesome." And then I was like, "Fuck, I can't. I have to work later today." And they were like, "Just call out of work." They're like, "There's a very simple solution." So I called out of work, and then and then we played the beer pong tournament, and then
you
a few
were
hours.
drunk.
And then everyone was like, "Let's go to the soccer game."
Wait, but your work was being the ball
Yeah,
person.
so I was like, "Well, if I'm gonna go, I might as well get paid."
Wait, so you called out and then called back in?
Called back in. I said, "Actually, I'm feeling a little bit better."
Oh, you actually said
Yes. And he was like, "Okay, we'll have you. Yeah, definitely. Like, take up your post on the sideline."
you at 8 a.m. I'm sick as a dog. I
Yeah.
can't even move. You at 12 p.m.
I'm
feeling
fucking great. I feel
so
so
good.
good right now. And it was like this intense
better.
rivalry game against Johns Hopkins, which if you played them D3, they're good at fucking everything.
Yeah, they are.
And it's really infuriating. They were the same league as us, same conference. So it was like an intense, heated, it was like a 2-2 game. And it's pouring rain. So it was like a really fun environment. A lot of fans came out. And so I'm drunk on the sideline, just like heckling the players, like with my friends who are hanging over the fence. And then also like working the job. But it was so bad. And like I was so drunk that I remember just in the middle of the game, I was like, I'm about to pee my pants. Like I've been drinking all morning. I'm about to pee my pants. So I just hopped the fence, ran to the
No.
bathroom, and then just
During
came
the
back.
game?
During the game, yeah. And the
that's so
reason he
funny.
caught me is that
is that everything
Yeah.
had just happened. Is that had all just happened? So it was pretty clear.
yes. So that was part of it. But then it was either like the game went to overtime. It was a very intense game. And I think that might have been the time I was hanging over the fence with my friends and I took his water bottle. And then the mom was really pissed about all the heckling because everyone was drunk and it was this intense game. So she went to my boss, who was the basketball coach of Dickinson, and also did like, you know, he organized these jobs, and she was like your fans are so rude, you know, this is an absolute shit show. You need to get control of the students. You got ball boys drinking, and he was like, whoa, wait, what was that last one? She's like, you got ball boys on the field drinking.
What do you mean drinking?
Yeah.
Cut to you taking a shot.
Yeah, like literally
from a shot glass.
Yeah.
Ew, that
like,
vodka's really tough.
Does anyone have a chaser for the shot I just did?
You drink one sip of what looks like a water bottle, and then you down a whole thing of Gatorade.
Yeah. and then stop it. You're gonna fuck up the free kick, you pussy. And then he came over to me and he was like, "Have you been drinking?" And I was like, "No." He was like, obviously he can smell it, and he's like, "You're an idiot." So be honest with me. I was like, "Well, now that I think about it, I did have a couple before I came."
He's like, you weren't actually drunk this morning, were you?
You weren't actually sick.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. You weren't actually sick this morning, were you? You're like, no, that was true.
Yeah.
That thing I was telling the truth about. Right now I'm lying.
But I felt better because I was drinking and I decided to come into work. And then the funny thing was then I had to go like meet with him after like a few days later and basically just apologize and be like, I'm sorry that I was drunk on the job. Like that's my fault. But because it's D3 and like it's such a lame like job, he was like, okay, everyone makes mistakes. So you ready to work the next game? I'm just like, yeah, sure. I was like, I literally promised him, I was like, I will never drink on the job again. Or before the job.
That's so college.
Yeah.
You can't get drunk at work. But we do need you now.
Yeah. But also this job is so lame that we'll take you anyway. We don't have any kids on the sideline.
Can you promise not to get drunk next week? I can't. Fine. Just don't get as drunk.
Yeah.
just scale it back like 2 drinks.
Just don't heckle the other players as you're giving them the ball.
So the heckling of the other players, I had 2. So in college I did soccer and improv, and I had 2 improv friends who got the coveted job of announcing the live stream of our games.
Damn, those were coveted jobs.
They had good voices. They were funny, and they like personally knew most of the people on the team, so they could like announce it accurately. And literally, first game of the season, we're playing.
That's got to be good for Sarah. Her self-confidence has been suffering lately. After Brian Morgan.
I've just imagined they're doing improv as
Morgan broke up with her recently, so that's great.
She thought they were exclusive. They weren't. It was the opposite. They were first game of the season is against Mount Holyoke, which is like kind of like is an out of league game, and I hate to say it, but
we destroyed them.
Yeah. And so they're announcing the game just thinking, oh, Amherst parents are watching this live stream.
Right.
And so they're just being like brutal to the other team.
Oh,
just
damn.
like, oh, and a whiffed again from number 7. Like,
tried to kick it but couldn't. Yeah. Whoopsie.
Yeah, she's got to be thinking, is this sport right for me? They were really hammering it in, and of course,
has anyone told the Mount Holyoke players that they're playing soccer?
Yeah. So all the Mount Holyoke parents complained, and they immediately lost the job.
Oh, damn!
After 1 game.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. They must have gone in because you would think that Amherst would just go, hey, dial it back. Like the opposing parents are also watching.
Also to then take the step of finding the athletic director's email on the Amherst website and then sending, and then to have it at such a volume.
It must have been really intense. This bitch is ugly. Yeah. Like, how could it be that bad?
She's number 17, but boy, she's a 2. Oh, that was funny.
Number 9 on the field, divorced in real life.
Oh, man.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Did you guys play sports against each other like in the backyard growing up?
We did in the backyard.
Exclusively, yeah.
Yeah, exclusively. And it was more like, because we have an older brother. Tyler's 4 years older. He's 6 years older. So I would usually be like the impartial, say if we're playing football, I'm the quarterback for both teams. Mm-hmm. And then also if we're like playing wiffle ball, I'm the pitcher for both teams. I'm like in the middle of all of it.
That's fun.
Which was great for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Did your beat up, win or lose, I got beat up. No matter the outcome. I remember
it did force Jamie to get very good at sports, compared to others your age, because he was having to play up so frequently. Is your brother older?
No, he's 2 years younger. So we were for a good period of time a very even match, and then he just became superior athletically and size wise. So then he was like my sparring partner who made me better than I would have.
Yeah.
been.
Were you playing on the same teams when you're growing up? Like these?
No, there was no co-ed.
Really?
No.
Oh, all my soccer team.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Until like we were like 9, I feel it was co-ed.
Ours
maybe a lot of ours growing up. The first soccer team I ever played on, I was like 6, and it was co-ed for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why ours wasn't.
That was my heyday because most kids at that time in soccer, most kids at that time hadn't quite figured out how to run yet. Period.
Yeah.
And I had the ability to run, so I was.
And you'd been getting chased in the backyard,
dunking on these fools. Yeah, I'd been getting chased. And I knew how to run because I was escaping the whippings and the beatings.
Yeah.
And
older sibling.
I was quite good in that league and then never again good at soccer. But I remember that. I also remember one time scoring a header and thinking it was the coolest thing of all time.
It is.
I was like, how did he kick it? And my head made it go. It was so cool.
It's stunning.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is stunning.
Yeah.
Because like I had to jump and I was also running as I jumped to get it.
A dream.
It wasn't like a diving header, but you know,
still.
just a
Wasn't at
normal,
6, was
totally normal header. No, in high school when
Okay,
I was on
okay.
JV.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I was like, that was the coolest thing ever.
Soccer's a really fun sport.
It's really fun. Yeah.
It is
pretty
maybe
bad
the
at
best
it, but-
sport.
My dad built us like a kick wall. So he like built a regulation sized wall of wood that was the size of a soccer goal. And so
Whoa.
we would play with that. We made up like a ton of games that were like combination between like soccer and other sports, or soccer and like make believe, or like
Soccer and the bridge to Terabithia.
The goblins are coming! Quick, kick the soccer balls at them.
We need to score quickly or else we'll be overrun.
pretty much. We also had a swing set, and we played a similar game where there would be 2 people on the swings and then other people like pitching, essentially like kickball style. And so when you swung forward, you would like kick the ball.
We did that too. I did that.
so
I have a
I did
memory
that
of
at
doing
recess.
something like
That's
that.
that was one of the best games ever.
Best.
You kick it
It's
so
like the
far.
best
So
yeah,
far.
You'd have so much momentum. Yeah.
Because I would do it like we would wait until you were getting like fully high. The goal
Yeah.
in that game wasn't even a versus game. It was let's see how we can make any of us kick it the farthest.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the goal. Like the pitcher was working in concert with the batter.
Yes.
You're like, how do I get it there at the right time so the angle's perfect and it launches like a rocket ship?
Yeah.
I remember we got it down. I don't know if you remember PMFS, the
Yeah,
school we
Plymouth.
went
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
We got it like all the way on the fly past that path that separated the football field from the playground. And if you remember, the swings were at the top.
Yeah, I
of
was going
the-
to say, from what swing set?
Yeah, this is when we were like older. We went back to that game. We were in 6th grade, so we were like not like adults, but like way bigger than kids
Yeah,
should
yeah.
be playing that. And one of us just like fucking punted it.
Everyone just, whoa. It's like the Sandlot.
God.
Like, oh my
It's like yes, it was like the Sandlot.
Did you play other sports besides soccer? It was like soccer from the get-go, soccer, and that's it.
I played Little League baseball for 3 years, which I really loved. I had a great coach. He was like definitely a great role model. And the boys on my team were like very accepting and welcoming.
So
of me
co-ed
being a
baseball,
girl.
but not...
It was really boys baseball that
Oh.
like that anyone could play if they wanted to.
Wait, how old were you when you were doing this?
Let's see. I think it was like 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade.
Yes. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Little League years. Yeah.
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 So like
7, 8,
the first
9.
year was
Yeah.
like the dads are pitching, and then the next 2 years it's like, oh, you're actually playing baseball. But there are certain,
Yes.
but there's mercy rules.
Yes.
And there's like no sliding into home plate, like certain
Those
like safety things.
we remember those days very well. Those
Yeah.
were our glory years.
Yeah.
We would spend...
Unbeatable.
I don't know how our mom did it, because there were 3 boys, and then Abby kind of joined, our sister joined
Abby
Jamie's
played.
team.
Yeah.
In part because she wanted to, and I think in part because it's like, we're going to be here for 8 hours every single Saturday.
Wait,
for
I don't
4
think we've
months.
said this on the podcast. So Abby, my sister, is my twin. We're the same age. She played baseball with me, and she was like, they were girls. It was a co-ed league, but it was like one girl a team. And all the pitchers when she came up were like, very afraid that it was a girl. So she,
Kind
I'm
of
not
like what you were
kidding,
like they didn't-
led
yeah.
the league in hit by pitches with like 12. And we only played like 10 games in that league.
And I'm pretty
She averaged
sure,
her on base percentage was like 800 that year.
and I'm pretty sure she had 0 or 1 hit.
One hit
on the year.
all year, and like 12 hit by pitches in like 26 plate appearances, which is like a crazy on base percentage.
But she knew, she was self-aware enough to realize,
Yeah.
I don't have the ability to hit the ball, so I'm just going to stand as close to the plate as I can get. And then she just wouldn't move. So she would just basically be a statue in the box like this.
She was
and
a
just lean
fucking-
over the plate, and then just the ball would hit her, and then she'd just drop the bat.
she
and go to
wouldn't even
first.
prepare for the pitch. She would just stand like
man.
that.
She would brace for
and in
impact.
between pitches, continue standing like
Yep,
that.
yep.
So the catcher would have to like be like, is she gonna and then walk over to the side to get it back to the.
She wouldn't like step out and take a practice swing. She's like, this is what I'm here to do.
Yeah, the whole time. I'm here to get hit. Why would I practice swinging? I'm not gonna do that. And then one time she did get a hit.
When she's in the on deck circle, she's just standing still.
Practicing her timing.
Yeah.
And
do you want to put the donut on your bat? She's like, no, won't need it.
she's like, I don't need a bat. If you need to practice with this bat, you can do it in the on deck circle.
She's like, the coach is like, Abby, don't you need your bat? She's like, I'm good, coach. Watch this. I'm about to score and then steal 3 bases.
It was so funny because there's a combination of 2 things. One of which is she's a girl and they're scared, so they throw it worse.
Yeah.
And then the other is she's legitimately in the strike zone when she gets hit. Like,
which is funny because I remember a player on Jamie's team who it changed his whole baseball career. He was a pretty good player.
He was.
He got hit by a pitch, and then all of a sudden, every time a pitch came, he would lunge, like legitimately jump
like
out of the batter's way.
Yeah.
Even when he was swinging, he would like jump and do that. And Abby was just like, I've been punched enough in this shoulder that a baseball thrown at 45 miles an hour is going to do nothing.
Abby was less playing baseball and more some kind of violent combination UFC baseball sport.
Yeah.
Where it's how much pain can you take and then we'll send you to first base.
Yeah.
It's like a Fear Factor episode.
Yeah, it really, it's like honestly, she was more doing a jackass stunt than playing baseball.
Yeah.
I could see them just being like, let's see how fast this 12-year-old could throw it at my balls.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, if you flinch, like you lose.
The funniest
you
part
have
was
to flinch the least.
she never really knew the rules, so I remember several times as she would get hit and then like walk back to the dugout thinking she struck out.
And they're like, no.
And the
it's
90-year-old
good.
guy would be like, you actually going to first.
Yeah. Oh my God, the worst umpires.
We called him Santa, and he couldn't see. Like, legitimately
Really?
had a sight problem.
Oh,
There were
boy.
times where like the ball bounced,
And he would call a strike.
dust
Actually bounced in front of the plate.
puff of dust, and the catcher he's like upset at the pitcher. Throws it. It's strike 4.
Strike 4. 2 more strikes to go.
It's like, sir, you're facing the wrong direction.
He was also in
He squats down in front of the catcher.
Takes balls off the face when they don't hit Abby.
I remember one time because one of us struck out. This is kind of a backyard baseball thing, or not backyard baseball, but like a Bad News
backyard
Bears
baseball.
thing. We struck out on a pitch that bounced, and I was pitching, and I was like, "Don't catch it," and I just hit him in like the chest.
Wait,
I told my catcher not to catch the ball. And it just hit Santa in the chest, but I was throwing like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So he was just like, ball.
And you're like, actually, that one was a strike.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Yeah, weirdly enough.
Oh God, were there like really awful soccer refs?
I can't, it's harder to be.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't want to say her name.
You know this like personally?
There was there was a ref. There was a ref who her name was like, I'll make up a different name. It won't be as good, but
Lulu, the dog.
Her name was Crazy Lulu, and she had like she was on the older side. She had like bleach blonde hair up in a ponytail. She had clearly been in the tanning bed like every week for her entire life. And she would straight up like hallucinate that things had happened. Like one time she gave me a yellow card for pulling jerseys and I got really mad because I like did not pull jerseys. Like I had my fair share of like, you know, I was extremely competitive, like had my fair share of fouls.
You're like, I punched her. I didn't pull her jersey.
Honestly, I would rather
I kicked her in the shin. What were you looking at, ref?
I pulled my mom was coaching a team of mine when I was like 10 or 11 and I pulled a jersey and my mom took me off the field immediately. Didn't even wait for a sub, just like it like embarrassed me, like took me off the field.
Wow.
And after that I was like, I will not pull jerseys because it is like cheating.
So it was against your honor code.
Yes. And so she like gave me a yellow card for pulling jerseys and I was like, I didn't do it, Crazy Lulu.
Crazy Lulu. You yelled at her.
Then the funniest thing is we would see her like every time my family was going to like a holiday, like Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, we would go to my grandparents' house. And I guess she lived in my grandparents' neighborhood because she would be outside running.
Oh no.
And my mom would like stop to say hi to her because they had like a
back.
professional relationship, and I'm just like, oh my God, I hate this bitch so much.
Oh, that was such an annoying moment when your mom ran into someone that she knew.
Yeah.
When you're a kid.
Yeah.
And you just couldn't care less.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
You're in the grocery store.
As an adult, I now
Grocery
get it from
store's
my
a big
mom's
one.
perspective, which is she hasn't talked to an adult in like 70 hours.
Yeah.
And she's like, please just say anything to me. Like, what's news from the outside?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a prisoner. Like, what's the latest news? You know?
Yeah.
What's it like outside the walls?
Yeah. What's it been like? And I'm just like, Mom, let's go. I'm just like kicking shit in the back.
Yeah. Remember, so there's still some in certain places, but do you remember at the grocery store how there used to be that tall ball
Yes.
bin?
All the bouncy
Yes.
balls.
And of course, it was so
Yes.
tall that you actually couldn't get them out, and you would try to push them
Yeah.
from below.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my mom would be like neck deep in a conversation, just exactly
just-
grasping at the chance to talk to an adult, and I'm just trying to get these fucking balls out of this fucking thing.
Oh,
so I'm
God.
bored out of my
mom
mind.
tells a story that the one time she screamed at me in public was so it was the four of us at the grocery store. I think it might have been in Massachusetts because I think it was a Stop and Shop and we were on vacation. And I'm just a kid in a bad mood. Apparently what I'm doing, she's grocery shopping and I'm taking one by one every item off of the aisles and going, do we want this? No. Do we want this? No. Do we want this? No. And she turned around, she goes,
Okay.
Tyler, shut the fuck up. And I did. I stopped immediately.
She didn't talk like that normally. So
No.
that was a big.
Arguably a killer bit. Just be
Do we
like,
want this?
Are we? Do we need? Are we? Am I wrong, or was this on the list? Like a killer bit.
It's
but
funny because in a grocery store too, it's basically the same item every time. 'Cause if you're
Right.
in one,
Do we want this
section,
Cheez-It?
This
Do we want
pesto?
this
What about
Cheez-It?
this pesto? Yeah, this Cheez-It. What about baked Cheez-It? Yeah. What about Cheez-It with parm?
What about colorful Cheez-Its? Was it tough playing a sport with your mom as the coach?
no, we figured out some sort of like separation of church and state. I want to say, like when she was coaching me, I wouldn't call her mom. I'd call her by her first name or coach.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we figured out a harmony there.
Was there ever discussion like what happens on the field? It doesn't come back to the house. I still love you.
I think we had. She was like definitely not like a yelling coach type thing.
Okay.
Like would never really. The players were never in the wrong, really. Like unless they really did something bad, in which case she would have a serious sit down conversation.
Right. She wouldn't
But
scream
it
at
was
them.
never like a screaming, never like a sit your ass on the bench, like none of that. So there was really nothing to unpack.
Was she like that at home, or she's just the same?
She was like that at home
Okay,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine if my dad was my coach, I would be telling a very different story.
Really? What makes you say that?
My dad and I can like have like I'm so conflict averse when it comes to like most members of my family. My dad and I could have an absolute screaming match and then be completely fine the next
Oh,
day.
interesting.
Were you like nonstop sports, or what kind of kid were you like overall?
I did like some theater stuff too. When I was really little, I did ballet,
Wow.
which was not fun.
I was gonna say, was it?
It was ballet.
Yeah.
It was one of the years was fun. The first year I was really terrified of the teacher. She reminded me of the Trunchbull from Matilda.
That's not good. That's not what you want. And, yeah.
But the next year was like fun. I think I had like a little crush on my teacher. She gave us a necklace at the end of the year. I don't know. It was
Still
fun.
have it. Yeah. You're wearing it right now.
I'm friends with her on Facebook. No. And then like theater stuff, which I really loved. Yeah.
Theater stuff was like in high school. You're a theater kid. Or
Younger,
no?
like
younger.
like to fill time. My mom would like enroll me in like community theater lessons or like whatever, and then there'd be a small play at the end of the year.
When you're
or
like 12
whatever.
or 13, I'm assuming.
Yeah, or even a little bit younger.
Oh.
When I got to middle school, then the school had theater, and so every year I tried out for the musical, but I can't fucking sing. So every year I got absolutely cut.
You get cut from.
Yeah,
You wouldn't just be in the chorus?
No.
That's what they did.
Not
at our
even
school.
chorus.
Okay.
Damn, they're just like, we don't even want you around.
Yeah,
to perform. You can't
pretty
even
much.
come and watch.
They were always.
Yeah, they're like, you're barred from this establishment. It's like, but I have chemistry here. And they're like, no, get your ass out.
Someone's working the door. They're like, no, yeah, you can't come in.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you're not on the
Yeah.
list.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Unless you bring 4 girls, you can't get in. The
You can't get
you
into
know what's
the school
interesting
play.
about like high school, like or middle school, like musicals. There's always like the stars, like
Yeah.
the kids that you were like, he's gonna get it. Like he's the
Yeah.
lead
Yeah.
every year.
They were
like local celebrities.
Yes.
just
And
at your school.
You thought they were going to be famous because you didn't know, but you're like, they're the best at our school of 400.
Exactly.
They're
You
gonna
literally,
make it.
you literally thought they were gonna like go on to be celebrities.
Exactly. And I really thought it because there was a group of girls who got kind of like in-synced together by some random man. Like, and they literally recorded an album and released it. Like they were a girl band. Like and everyone was like, they're gonna be famous.
Yeah. Well, yo, this happened or not even in
Just
high
'cause
school.
they
In
had to follow
college,
through.
in college, the same thing happened. My friend lived in our house sophomore year, the first half of sophomore year at UC Santa Barbara, and he was like, "Yeah, me and my band are like recording like an album." It was like him and like 4 other like kind of hot guys.
Nice.
And obviously, just nothing happened with it because that's what happens with like all entertainment ever. But we were like, "Yeah, Orion's gonna be famous."
It's just the
We live with
follow
like
through.
it's
just the
cool to
follow
like
through
live with a
finish
guy
it.
before he gets big.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
knowing
yeah.
Harry Styles before he was famous. Like it just is really cool, and he's like humble too.
He's like a good guy.
Humble
Like,
too. Meanwhile, his life is like just completely normal.
So normal.
He's so down to earth. Yeah.
He now like works in insurance, dude.
what could have been?
Yeah.
Could have been.
He's the most talented insurance agent
Whoa!
I've ever met.
Scared the fuck out.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
I couldn't tell if that meant that if the alarm meant that it was the end of the episode.
So yeah,
or if
I
Jamie
mean,
needs to take his birth control.
I think it's my birth control and also the end of the. I think I have to go because I have to take.
Wait,
my
are you
birth
on the male
control.
birth control? No.
No, but I think I have to take it.
He's got to go take it right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do have to take male birth control right now.
But before we get to that, just thank you for coming in, Kate. We will send you an invoice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I worked through some issues.
Great, yeah, and there's still more. We can tell. So
You should come back.
You
for
should
another
come back,
appointment just to be
yeah.
safe.
Yeah, I was really quick, just like, yeah, me and my dad scream at each other, and then we started talking about theater.
we'll
I
get
did
into
want to
it.
follow up on that.
We'll
for
get
sure.
into it next time.
Next episode, we will start with why do your dad and you scream at each other,
And then
our
why do you pretend
completely
like nothing happened?
find the next day?
Irish Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Then we don't have to have a follow up episode. that explains
asked
it.
and answered.
Asked and answered quickly. Kate, where can the people find you?
You can find me at the Kate Sisk on pretty much everything. And please follow me. It really matters.
Yeah, please
does.
follow Kate. Kate's a great comedian, a great soccer player, and a great member of your family as well.
Thank you.
That is what your mom emailed us to say about you.
Oh,
So,
good. Thank you.
So,
Thanks for having me.
Let me read the whole thing. My Kate is smart. My Kate is kind. My Kate is a hard worker.
And then there's one from your dad that just says, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, it says, Kate, shut the
love
fuck
you.
up, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
And then I love you.
Oh, good. I'm glad the I love you is there.
He said we're Irish Catholic, so she'll know what it means.
Kate, thank you so much for coming in. We'll send you that invoice very, very shortly.
Thanks for having me.